So as the last few people are taking their seats, I want to welcome everyone to our 10th annual Challenge Success Conference. My name is Denise Pope. I'm a senior lecturer here in the Graduate School of Education at Stanford and co-founder of Challenge Success, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight with all of you to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. I want to take a moment before we begin to introduce my amazing co-founders, Madeline Levine and Jim Lobdell. Just stand up right here in the front row. And our incredible staff, headed by Executive Director Maureen, Gina, Amy, Sarah, Shannon, Samantha, and Tim, all of our volunteers and coaches who are here to help make this conference a success each year, and a very special thank you to our board members and advisory board and research and policy board members, many of whom have been with us for all 10 years. We could not be here without you. Everybody's name is on our website, so you can look up all the names of all the board members, but for now, let's give them a big round of applause. We also have a very special group of folks in the audience. Tonight we have almost 30 middle and high school teams comprised of principals, administrators, parents, students, teachers, and counselors who are all going to be here tonight, but they're also going to come back for a full day tomorrow when we're going to put them through some workshops designed to help them learn research-based strategies to provide kids with academic, social, and emotional skills needed to succeed now and in the future. Through our workshops and our one-on-one coaching with these schools, they'll learn practical tools they need to improve the health and well-being of their students and enhance the kind of teaching and learning that goes on in their classrooms. So we have schools from as far away as Chicago. Where are my Chicago people? Minnesota, Seattle, all over California, including many schools from Los Angeles area, Sacramento, and the Bay Area. So we welcome all our school team participants. We're so glad you're here, and we're looking forward to a great 2 days. So tonight's theme is Keep It in Perspective. And as a parent and an educator, I know that is sage advice. Don't sweat the small stuff. Keep the big picture in mind, and take time to reflect on where you've been and where you want to go. So that's what I want to do to help set the stage for tonight's program before we introduce our speakers. Just over 10 years ago, a small group of Stanford experts from various departments, the School of Education, the Office of Judicial Affairs, the University Health Center, we got together to discuss some of the problems we were seeing in our students. We saw a growing number of students facing symptoms of emotional distress, signs of depression, anxiety, many other disorders, and we saw high rates of cheating and disengagement in school. Even from the kids here who had the top grades, many were, in their words, doing school, going through the motions, kind of playing the game to get the grades, but not really learning the material in depth or enjoying the process. And we saw students who were reacting in the exact opposite way to increased stress and pressure. They were becoming disillusioned with the system, giving up, or dropping out. We saw students who were exhausted and lacked the resilience to bounce back from a challenge or setback, and we wondered, how were these students going to be future leaders, innovators, role models, and active citizens? We knew this behavior started long before college, so we decided to form an organization to help schools and families change this behavior, helping students learn the skills to be creative, collaborative, adaptable, critical thinkers, to be engaged, lifelong learners who are healthy and who are independent problem solvers ready for the global challenges ahead. 10 years ago, we started with 300 people in a small auditorium on campus and a handful of schools. And this year, we have once again sold out the largest auditorium on campus and have worked with over 100 schools, impacting over 600,000 students, parents, and educators from all over the United States and as far away as Toronto. Where am I? Toronto. Yay! Me and Wendy, yay! And Brazil. I know, far, right? Far. So, what have we learned over the 10 years of doing this work? Well, we were talking about this. We used to have to spend a lot of time convincing people of the problem, educating them about the high levels of distress of our children. And now, 10 years later, we don't really need to do this. We no longer need to convince people of the problem because the parents and the teachers see the problem. In fact, they're living with the problem. And the adults and students alike want to focus on solutions. 10 years ago, very few people had heard of SEL, the importance of social and emotional learning, and now we see stories all the time about the need for students to have safe climates for learning, where they feel cared for by their teachers, where they feel like they belong, where they don't have to worry about being bullied or feeling dumb or isolated. We, along with many others around the country, have been focusing on SEL for many years, and now, finally, people are really starting to listen and successfully integrate it into the curriculum by creating advisories, tutorials, and other school-wide programs that help students and teachers form strong relationships. 10 years ago, we had far less information on adolescent sleep patterns and the effect of later school start times. And now we have many solid studies that show the positive effects of allowing teens to sleep in and start school later, something that we help many of our CS schools learn to implement, and something that's going to come up again tonight later in the program. 10 years ago, the Common application to college was around, but it didn't have nearly the number of colleges using it today. Upwards of 400 colleges are using the Common App. The same can be said for the increase in applicants taking the ACT, along with the SAT, and the growth of college admissions consulting and the test prep businesses, which have skyrocketed over the past 10 years. Now, there are more universities working to change the frenzy, being more transparent about the process, really changing the process. There's even 800 four-year colleges that don't rely on any standardized tests to admit their students. You can check that out on fairtest.org if you're a student. And we just posted on our website some very exciting news about Bard College, where not only do you not have to take tests, but you don't have to turn in your GPA either. So you can look that up on our website. If you join us on Facebook, you will see what we mean. At Challenge Success, we work with schools and families to help them navigate a healthier process for students applying to college, a focus on the fit between the student and the school. And I can tell you, as someone with a 17-year-old right now who's in the middle of the college admissions process, I just have one request. Please don't ask my child or any high school senior at this point where they want to go, where they're applying, what they got on their test scores, or what they plan to major in. If everyone, including well-meaning friends and relatives, can follow this simple advice of not asking, the lives of countless high school seniors will improve almost immediately. And if parents and students would have an open mind about looking into schools they've never heard of, schools like McAllister, Elon, Earlham, and Bard, just to name a few, that would help too. 10 years ago, Facebook was just getting started, not without quite a bit of controversy. We've seen the movie. But now, social media sites take up far more of our students' time and energy than ever before. At Challenge Success, we help parents work with their kids to understand healthy and safe online practices and work with schools to figure out how to use all the new gadgets and apps and programs that have been created over this past decade, not just for the sake of using the gadgets and the apps and the programs, but to really improve learning while at the same time not having students in front of a screen 24/7. 10 years ago, the world was different. We didn't have Carol Dweck's research on mindset and praising student effort instead of performance. We didn't have widespread use of MRIs to understand more about learning differences and how the brain works. We didn't have Khan Academy, at least in its current state, and nearly as many charter schools. We didn't have the Common Core or the rapid growth of alternative teacher prep programs like Teach for America, and we certainly didn't have as many books, blogs, and articles on how to be a good parent. Challenge Success has been working for 10 years to help parents and schools make sense of all these changes and help our students get the kind of education they deserve, to focus on something that hasn't changed over 10 years, the real developmental needs of kids, the need for love and care, freedom to take risks and make mistakes, and to learn from them, to be engaged and excited by school. We want to focus on schools and families staying committed to fulfilling these common needs that have not changed over time in the fast-paced world in which we live that is rapidly changing. We are proud to say that recent results of a 2-year evaluation show that we are making a difference. that we are indeed helping schools and parents and kids as they make changes in their homes and at their school sites, changes to schedules, changes to workload, changes to curriculum and assessment and teacher training. And we are helping them stay calm, stay healthy, stay sane, motivated and engaged for real learning. And that makes this an especially happy 10-year anniversary for us. Tonight we have two amazing speakers who will offer their advice and perspective on how to keep things in perspective, how to help kids thrive in today's busy world. And then we're going to do some fun interactive exercises, that's the part with the phone, in the second half of the program, where we're going to offer some concrete strategies to help you keep things in perspective as a parent, as a teacher, and as a student. Our first speaker and keynote is Dan Pink. Dan is the author of 5 provocative books about human motivation, persuasion, and creativity, including the long-running New York Times bestsellers A Whole New Mind, Why Right-Brainers Will Rule the Future, and Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. His latest book, To Sell is Human, The Surprising Truth About Moving Others, is a New York Times bestseller, a #1 Wall Street Journal business bestseller, and a #1 Washington Post nonfiction bestseller. Not bad. His articles on business and technology appear in many publications, and Dan has provided analysis of business trends on several networks in the US and abroad. In 2011, Thinkers 50 ranked him as one of the 50 most influential business thinkers in the world. He lives in Washington, D.C. with his wife and their 3 school-age children. We are thrilled to have him back for a second time here with Challenge Success. I know you're in for a big treat. Please welcome Dan Pink.